ESPNRichmond.com. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can watch the stream live by typing in ESPN Richmond in the search bar. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch the stream. You can be part of the stream by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And, of course, as always, you can be part of the show the old-fashioned way, 804-327-0888. No guests today, just your calls, your texts. Want to hear from you because we've got to dive into some fantasy football stuff as the trade deadline rapidly approaches, depending on what type of league you're in, ESPN, Yahoo, Sleeper. So we've got to talk about some buy, sell, hold candidates in hour number 2. And, of course, we've got to start with the biggest news of the day, that Jalen Hurts says he was not startled by recent reports of frustration inside the organization directed towards him. And I've never heard of a team with this much noise. This successful of a team with this much noise constantly swirling around them. It's honestly impressive because now it's yet another story coming out, and now it's directed towards the quarterback rather than A.J. Brown, who's been at the center of a lot of these stories as of late. But the fact that there is frustration from inside the organization directed towards him is mind-boggling. He was asked about it yesterday at a press conference, and this is what Jalen Hurts had to say.
I take a lot of the responsibility when things are going. I guess I get a lot of attention when things are going well and when things are not going so well. And so I never run away from holding myself accountable. And I think, that's exactly what I've taken the approach of doing. When I look at this last game, I take great pride in what we do on offense. I take great pride in how we go out there and play as a team and what our flow is. And so we obviously got work to do, and I think that obviously starts with me. That's always my approach. That's always me looking internally first in everything that we do, and then in due time rising above.
My goodness. That dude's pulse is way too low. Are we sure he's even alive? Like, that is just such a low post, low energy answer. But hey, quote, I'm not surprised by anything. This is kind of the nature of the position. Good on Jalen Hurts because they've got quite literally the perfect quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, because there is always, since he's taken over, there's been so much noise around the franchise. He replaces Carson Wentz. There's questions around that. They win a Super Bowl. That's awesome. Then they have all of the noise around them, especially during their meltdown in 2023. Then the noise going into last year, their Super Bowl winning year. All of the noises around them where Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni hate each other and that they're at each other's throat. They have to have mediated conversations to kind of figure things out and iron things out. That was the storyline heading into last season. And now the storyline is A.J. Brown is this problem child, and they have to figure it all out. And all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts is getting thrown under the bus. It's legitimately insane that they are able to win consistently. And I have to give them credit for that. And as a known Eagles hater, I'm a known Eagles hater. I typically would take this opportunity to pile on, but it's a rare time I'm going to come out and I'm going to defend Jalen Hurts here, Alan. I'm going to defend Jalen Hurts. Is he a top 10 quarterback? Well, that's for an offseason discussion that's bound to rile some people up. But Jalen Hurts has been exactly what this coaching staff wants of him and exactly what this front office wants of him. Hurts isn't throwing catchable balls to A.J. Brown, right? And I imagine A.J. Brown is the source, if not one of the sources of the frustration in that locker room. But as a quarterback this season, Jalen Hurts has been one of the best QBs. According to PFF passing grade, he ranks 6th. In PFF offensive grade, he ranks 8th. He has a 5.4% big-time throw percentage, tied for 6th. And he has a 1.2% turnover-worthy play rate, which is best in the NFL. He's hitting big plays at a high rate. He's not putting the ball into dangerous situations, and the Eagles are winning football games. He's doing exactly what the Eagles have wanted from him, specifically the coaching staff and what the front office wants out of him. Now, is he doing what A.J. Brown wants him to do? No. And A.J. Brown is probably the source of this frustration. But he has been excellent. He has been exactly what they need of him. And I have to commend him for that. Good on you, Jalen Hurts, because you are the perfect QB for this whole Philadelphia Eagles situation. And it is mind-boggling that they have been able to and probably will still win consistently. And as much as it pains me, they're in the upper tier of the NFC. They have a very, 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 very good shot of making it back to yet another Super Bowl, which would be 3 of the last 4 years. Just round of applause to them. They've been able to handle it. And you heard there from Jalen Hurts, that dude has got such a low pulse, man, that he is able to weather all of this so impressively. So good for him.
Yeah, I would imagine he doesn't care. he doesn't care because it's kind of consistent to what he's heard even back in his Bama days, right?
That's true.
Nothing AJ Brown, nothing Jalen Hurts has done is outside the realm of the scouting report of Jalen Hurts from the time he was at Bama to the time he took over starting quarterback. If anything, he's taken bullets figuratively for the coaching staff and the play calling more than anything.
Yeah.
Like you said, you just pointed out, like he's within the scope of the offensive ask. He's doing everything right.
And he's doing it so well. The fact he leads the league, or I guess his last, I don't know how you would word that. He's got the best turnover-worthy play rate in the NFL. 1.2% of his passes this year have been, quote-unquote, turnover-worthy plays. Just 4 of them.
He's a safe quarterback in a safe offense. Like, if they ask
Who
him...
hits big-time throws when asked.
Because I was going to say, Steichen, what was that, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago?
Yeah.
When Steichen asked him to throw the ball down the field, they were one of the more explosive aerial attacks.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't been asked by that by anybody. When Kellen occasionally asked him to throw it down the field, it wasn't really an issue. I think, like I said, in this case, some of this is on the staff. But the fact that they win despite all the noise is just because they have that much talent in that organization. And, Sirianni gets a lot of credit for things, but you never hear about him taking any kind of flack for not being able to control the situation. And that is A.J. Brown's been off the cuff. And you got Jalen Hurts. Like, there's legitimate friction between your receivers and your quarterback.
Your star receiver and your franchise QB, for all intents and purposes, hate each other.
Yeah, and when it got to the boiling point, Big Dom handled it. What are we doing?
I saw someone tweet this, and I could not agree with it more. They're like, I've never seen such a successful coach in the history of the NFL who I have no clue what he has done to help this team.
He ushered in the tush push, that part.
Sure.
But outside of that, I mean, it's true. I don't know what he does with his specialty. It's not in managing personalities.
Who are the 5 best coaches in the NFL? I don't think Sirianni comes up on that list. And he's won a Super Bowl in the last 3 years. He's made it to 2 in the last 3 years. And he's got the best team in the NFC as it stands right now. And you would not put him as one of the top 5 coaches in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's so funny. It's so funny.
But I'm with you, man. I made a post about it Sunday. Like, we as NFL fans deserve better. I can't even hate the Eagles because they're too busy fighting themselves.
Yeah, I know. And it feels like I'm kicking them while they're down. So now I feel like I got to lift up Jalen Hurts. This isn't me.
Yeah.
I want to pile on Jalen Hurts, but I got to lift him up. He's doing what is asked of him, and he can't do anything more than that. And the fact that there is frustration from inside the organization, A.J. Brown, is insane.
Well, the last report I saw said that it wasn't just AJ; it was the receivers in general were grumbling.
But I would imagine because they're not throwing the dang football.
Yeah,
last game in that Detroit win, the yards per attempt was 4.8. They're just not pushing the ball down the field. This season, they've had just one game where the yards per attempt were above 10 yards, and it came in their game against Minnesota. Coincidentally, that was also the best graded game for Jalen Hurts. So maybe they should take something out of that, and Kevin Petula should learn that, hey, maybe when we push the ball down the field, things tend to go well for us still. In that game, Jalen Hurts had 4 big-time throws, not a single turnover-worthy play. Not to mention, Jalen Hurts has not put a ball into a turnover-worthy play situation since Week 6 against the Giants. He has done everything. He has protected the football, and it's just insane because the wide receivers have a point. The play calling is bad. The play calling isn't opening things up. However, Jalen Hurts isn't the problem for that, at least in my opinion. Watching them play, seeing how it all goes, the issue lies with the coaching staff. Yeah. And that's where the frustration should be.
Yeah, I leave with the feeling that it's the play calling, not the players in this instance. Although, again, A.J. Brown's frustrated. But, heck, even when they called the play to throw the ball down the field, it was predictable. And he didn't even hustle.
He didn't even hustle.
And the throw was off. It's like, man, it really is a dysfunctional mess, but they win. So, and that's been the Eagles thing for the last 2.5 years or so after the meltdown or whatever. Like, despite of all the nonsense and despite all the complaints, I remember I had a whole rant about the offense being broken one year.
Yeah,
and all they kept saying, fans and players in the media, well, we win. And that's always been the thing. I mean, Jalen Hurts himself has been an advocate of that. Like, yeah, it doesn't look good, but we win. At some point, that's going to end, and the dysfunction is going to come to root. And I don't think they're going to bounce back when this eventually explodes. So they need to get it together, and it's really, again, not on the players. I think it's on the staff.
And I like PFF because PFF does look, we can't watch every single snap of every single game every single week. They claim they do.
I know they do.
I'm going to say that they do. I'm going to believe that PFF
We need to put an
does.
asterisk on it, just like the committee watches every game.
Yeah, they don't do that. I can guarantee you that. However, I'm going to believe PFF for the time being because 90% of the time, I believe they get it right, and it is graded by humans. So, of course, there's going to be some human error, maybe some just unrecognized biases that step into some things. But I agree with this point that I'm about to make from PFF. A.J. Brown's having his worst season as a pro. Mm-hmm. And it's not – so there are people watching A.J. Brown on every single snap. According to PFF, that's what they're doing. And so, yeah, his numbers are down because he's not getting targeted as much. But his play, even on the routes that he's running that he's not getting targeted on, are just much worse. Last year, he had a 90.2 offensive grade, according to PFF. This year, A.J. Brown has a 72.8 offensive grade, according to PFF. By far his worst career year.
I told you, maybe
that is why you're not getting targeted,
his
man.
His body language stinks. His attitude stinks, and it's seeping into his play. Like, seriously, he's a human. Like, we're all human. If you're constantly upset and under duress, if the vibes are down, if the vibes are down, it's going to show on the field. That was Sirianni's other thing when they turned it around the first time. I think he had like this little thing about like this speech about them being a flower or something strange he had said, but it resonated. But essentially, it was like something about the vibes being better, and that kicked off the initial Super Bowl run when they ended up losing to the Chiefs, I believe. But like he has been a vibes kind of coach. Like he's that was kind of his moniker when he first started. I don't know what the vibes are now. Like I said, it's a whole lot of infighting, and
he wins.
Even during the collapse, it sounded like they were having friction at that time too. Like there's just no authoritative leadership from the top.
Seems like he's one of the guys.
Yeah, which isn't what they need. You don't have to go full Parcells, but again, A.J. Brown, shut up would be nice.
Maybe I'm coming around to your hot take of maybe bench A.J. Brown.
I'm telling you, man, just to send the message to him. Like,
shake him up.
We just saw CD and Pickens get benched for a series because they were.
Abdul Carter benched for a quarter because he was asleep.
Yeah, like
we've seen it.
This guy is not producing, and he's being a
diva.
Yeah,
he's being a diva. He is showing off why people call wide receivers divas.
Close your ears, Eagles fans. There's a button in your office, I'm sure. If you smash it, it says the TO button. That's what you got to do.
I was literally about to say that. I was like, I'm getting real TO vibe. Sooner or later, we're going to get an A.J. Brown press conference in his driveway doing sit-ups on a reclined bench. But that's what we're coming to.
At least they're winning. They'll win.
At least they're winning. All right, let's update you with some other things that have happened around the world of sports.
This is your Fitz the Bill morning update, getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
Last night in the NBA, we got some drama. The Mavericks hit a game-tying layup in the final seconds, but it was a rare offensive foul call before the shot. It secured the win 113-111 for the Knicks. The Mavericks offensive player was whistled for a hook and hold offensively, which waved off the shot. The Rockets down the Cavaliers 114-104. The Pacers picked up their second win of the season, 127-118 win. The Raptors beat the Sixers 121-112. And after a red-hot start for Philly, the Sixers are now 3-5 over the last 8. The Heat won 110-96 over the Warriors. Golden State's road woes remain as they are 4-8 away from the Bay. The Wolves beat the Wizards 120-109. The Nuggets got a 125-118 win over the Pelicans. The Thunder moved to 15-1 following a 113-99 win over the lowly Kings. And the Bulls got a 122-121 win over the Trailblazers in Portland. We also had an electric night in college hoops. Richmond beat up on VMI 87-54. Virginia Tech, who announced James Franklin as the next head coach at an introductory press conference earlier in the day, picked up a 78-61 win over Bryant. And the Tribe of William and Mary got an 82-74 win over Bowling Green. The fourth-ranked Arizona Wildcats downed the third-ranked Yukon Huskies 71-67. Jaden Bradley dropped 21 points for Arizona. And the 11th-ranked Crimson Tide put up 90 in an electric showdown against the 8th-ranked Fighting Illini. It was a 4-point win for Alabama. In the NFL, veteran wide receiver Brandon Cooks requested his release from the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints waived the wide receiver. If he clears waivers, he will be free to sign with any other team. And in Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders was named QB1 for this Sunday's game. Dylan Gabriel remains in concussion protocol, so Sanders will get his first official start. So that's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports. And luckily enough for Shedeur Sanders, he'll get some reps with the first team. After not getting any reps with the first team throughout the entire season, he now has been able to work with the first team. So we'll get a good look of where Shedeur Sanders' development is progressing this Sunday, as the Browns will put him at the QB1 spot. I've heard a lot of backup quarterbacks and backup players throughout this entire saga, both defending Stefanski, not defending Stefanski. But you've heard from a lot of career backups, and I say that with all love, whether it's been Dan Orlovsky on ESPN, Kurt Benkert, who is a journeyman backup quarterback who now makes his living playing Madden. He's come out and said it, where typically quarterbacks don't get any QB1 reps throughout the entire season, and QB1 reps remain with the starter. However, I still think it was insane that Shedeur was getting no first-team work, considering Kevin Stefanski was always wishy-washy on Dylan Gabriel, and the fact that Shedeur never got a single first-team rep even in the preseason, despite them trading away Flacco, trading away Pickett, and really it just makes no sense. It's very, very odd. And so Shedeur now finally gets his opportunity to work with the first team, and he'll see what he's got on Sunday for the Cleveland Browns.
I agree with that, actually, though, too. Like, my friend has some NFL experience and told me that wasn't uncommon. But as I had the same take as you, I was like, dude, this was allegedly an open competition for some time. I was like, at least during training camp, he should have at least seen a couple reps with the ones.
It was Flacco and Pickett they traded away in the offseason, right?
Yeah.
In training camp?
Yeah, and he even started a preseason game, and they didn't put the ones in during that either.
Like, I get it. Yeah, once you start the season, if you've got Joe Burrow as your quarterback, yeah, we're not going to let Jake Browning take any first-team reps.
Exactly.
But this is the Browns. You're starting Dylan Gabriel, who you're not sure of. Like, it feels like you're doing your team a disservice if you're not getting Shedeur in. And I get it. That's not how the NFL works. Okay, I have a problem with that.
And the Browns' way of working has worked.
Yeah, like,
they should be unconventional.
Exactly. Like, that's not how things happen. I don't care. Like, you haven't won, so maybe we try something different.
Right?
You've been the laughingstock of the NFL for the past ever since the Ravens took the team away from you and you restarted as an expansion franchise. You've been an absolute disaster.
Since you were born, Jack, they've had like 40 quarterbacks.
I saw that when Shedeur was named QB1. They were like, some account tweeting, they're like, this is the 40th all-time quarterback starting since 1996 when the Browns and a Seattle Seahawks beat reporter quoted it, and it was like, Seattle's had 12 starting quarterbacks during this same time.
Yeah,
I
can name the Niners quarterbacks, and I don't think I'll get to 10.
It's insane where the Browns have just been rotating them. But hey, they got another one added to the jersey, the famous jersey. I don't know if you've ever seen it, with every single name that started, and he just got it all on the back of his jersey. It ran out of space. He had to retire it. Start a new one.
Maybe he needs to get bigger, get a 3X or 4X. Maybe he needs to gain some weight.
You know what I think? I think they should go and try and get Johnny Manziel off the couch.
No.
Brandon Whedon. Bring back Brian Hoyer. Let's name all of the random
The
QBs.
Johnny Manziel story is by far the most craziest story. It defies all logic of that level of football. The guy didn't watch film. He didn't halfway practice, and nobody checked that.
What's crazier? The fact that Johnny Manziel made it to the NFL doing that, or the fact that Johnny Manziel was a Heisman-winning SEC QB who pulled off multiple huge upsets by partying instead of practicing?
It's the getting to the NFL like that, because the NFL is supposed to vet that process,
that's true.
right?
That's
like in college, you can get off on
pure
youth,
athleticism.
youth and athleticism. We've seen that 1,000 times. Technically, when you get to the NFL, that's supposed to be cut off.
Yeah,
they're supposed to vet that.
I can't believe wild. All right,
Insane.
let's get a break in. We'll step aside. We'll be back. Talk a little bit about the Spiders last night, because the Spiders got an impressive 87-54 win over VMI, where they just absolutely obliterated the Keydets. And Allen was in attendance. He'll have some takeaways as Richmond looking feisty here to start off 2025.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
At American Red Cross, we depend on your end-of-year donations to provide relief during emergencies and care for families in need. Visit redcross.org to make a donation that will change a life.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Holiday Cheer and Gear is back. Join the staff at ESPN Richmond December 4th at the Henrico Sports and Events Center in Glen Allen as we broadcast live accepting new sports equipment to be distributed during the holiday season by the Salvation Army Christmas Assistance Program. Presented by the Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority. Help make this holiday a special one by donating new footballs, volleyballs, tennis rackets, any sports gear for kids ages 10 through 16 years old. Details online at espnrichmond.com or henricosea.com.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 235.
Have other law firms turned your case down? Maybe they didn't think you had a case. Maybe they just didn't want to spend the money to investigate. Truth is, some firms don't have the resources to fund a big fight. Alexander Chinara Trial Attorneys. We won't back down. We investigate. We fund. It won't cost you a dime until we win. 877-222-6666 or go to Chinara.com. Alexander Chinara Trial Attorneys. We don't settle. We win.
This is advertising material.
Celebrate the Richmond region's most inspirational sports stories at the RVA Sports Awards, Saturday, January 31st at the Altria Theater. Reserve your tickets now at visitrichmondva.com.
The Bentelli Holiday Sales Event is on now through December 24th. Great selection of LSVs and special finance rates are available. Cruise your neighborhood in style with a street-legal low-speed vehicle from Richmond LSV. Richmond LSV is a proud supporter of Holiday Cheer and Gear on December 4th at Henrico Sports and Events Center. Contact us at richmondlsv.com or text 363-4351. Fun, fully charged.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
1061 ESPN traffic.
The left and center lanes are blocked off due to an accident heading south on 95 approaching Atlee Elmont, with heavy traffic backing up to Kings Dominion Boulevard. We're also seeing some delays heading east on 64 between 522 and Oilville Road. And both lanes are blocked off due to an accident heading east on 64 between Oilville and Rockville Mannequin, with traffic being detoured to exit 167.
The lights, the rivalries, the NFL in prime time. From Thursday to Sunday to Monday nights, every big matchup is here. Only on 1061 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks NFL all season long.
The rebound to Walls, kicks it out to Tyne. Tyne to the front court, driving down into the lane, kicks it back out front, eventually to Walls. And his three-pointer is good, and that's going to bring a quick timeout. The far side to Tatum. He tries to pull his way past Tyne and can't. Ball's knocked away. Picked up by Tyne. Lob it. Dunk it. Daughtry finishes it off.
Wow, you can tell they work on that one in practice, but what a nice pass by Mikkel Tyne. And Daughtry went up the ladder to bring it back down.
Ball's knocked around, and eventually Rumaglu grabs it for Richmond. The outlet to Lopez. To the front court for three. Got it.
Spiders just scorching on offense right now. Another three-point basket. They are tonight 67% behind the arc, 6 of 9.
Impressive win last night for Richmond. And I know it's against VMI, who's not necessarily the world beater that some of the teams in the Atlantic 10 may be. VMI 296 in the most recent KenPom that came out. But Allen, Richmond dominated that game the way that you want Richmond to. They're 4-0 through this first part of their season, and they got their biggest test was against William and Mary, who's 175th in KenPom. 4-point win in that one, a good little rivalry win as well. They've got a fairly easy, and I mean that affectionately, a fairly easy non-conference schedule to kind of work out maybe some of their kinks, and then they hit the teeth of the A-10 play. But this team, albeit against lesser competition, has looked really solid to start 2025-26.
Guess I got to turn my mic on.
I was like, oh, did
I turned every mic on but my
upset you?
own. No, but I was gonna say, yeah, it's just VMI until VMI wins, and then it's gonna be an embarrassing loss, and it's bragging rights. Of course, we're in the state of Virginia, so I'm with you. I've been impressed with the team. Whenever you bring in these the transfers and stuff, you look for chemistry. We said the same thing about VCU. Like that, it looks like what the coaches envision for their system and their players. The gel is forming early, and I think that's beneficial for both teams, Richmond and VCU, but mainly for Richmond too, because like last night they found their shot, which is something that I know they've been looking for almost 2 years. Like we heard of great shooters and the great shooting that the team does at the practices and stuff. Last night it showed up, and I know for the majority of the game they were in the 60s percentage wise for 3-point shooting. And I thought the volume was balanced. The scoring was balanced. The only knock I had personally, and I know it probably frustrates some fans too, is like the way they started the game off so fast. It was an 8-0 run in less than 2 minutes. VMI had to call a timeout, and I think they scored maybe like 6 or 7 points in the next 6 minutes, which is college basketball in a nutshell, though, man. It's all a game of runs. But they've been steady, and I love their rotation so far.
Yeah. An 8-0 run to start some things off and then just kind of cooled off. A name that I want to bring up, and I know it's a name you were looking at, Argabright.
Yes.
He is a Richmond product, and the freshman has been playing in a good amount of minutes, 52% of the minutes so far this year. He's being used at a pretty high rate. He's shooting the ball well. He's shooting it from three fairly well for a freshman. And he was coming off of he played 24 minutes, 11 points last night, 2 for 3 from the floor, 1 of 4 from long range. Good stuff from him.
Yeah, both of the Richmond guys, Daughtry's the other Richmond guy as well. I actually made a note to point out that I think Daughtry's a glue guy. And I say that because he's big enough to complement Mike Walls when they need toughness. But he's got a skill set for his size that will make him a mismatch against a lot of people that are supposed to be playing in his position. Or if he gets matched up with somebody smaller, he's got a game where he can back him down into the post and hit some shots, and then he gets out on the break. His handles are solid. He's just a really steady presence and consistent player. And both him and Argerbright, I think they come off the bench sometimes, and they're both like catalysts, man. They're energy guys. They're just front court, back court energy to some extent. But I think Coach Mooney's figured that out early. Look, I've got a good starting rotation going, but I can plug these guys in at any point in any rotation with any group of guys I put on the floor, and they're gonna be catalysts for offense and defense.
Yeah, Daughtry last night, 10 points in 14 minutes. He was 5 for 5 from inside of the arc. He missed his lone long-range shot, finished with a rebound and an assist. And also I want to shout out the other big man they got, Mike Walls, who had a
Spider
game.
Gronk is what I call him.
Spider Gronk. Yeah. He went 2 for 2 from long range, 1 for 2 from inside the arc, 9 rebounds, 3 assists in 17 minutes. And a lot of guys didn't get necessarily huge minutes because it wasn't needed. It was a blowout pretty much from the start. You said it, an 8-0 run, but that was really all they needed, because then they just controlled things from there on out. But Walls and Daughtry, good little front court there for him. Daughtry 6'7", 230. That's just a big body.
Beagle comes off the bench.
Beagle
He's
comes off the
complimentary.
bench. Yeah. Like, this was something I know. I remember listening to Matt talk about it last year, how he always was upset with their rebounding from last year.
Matt is, that's his thing. And I have to say, and I'm not saying this because I've lived in the state of Virginia all my life, and he obviously is from Philly and came to Virginia a while ago. But like, all my life that I can remember, Bob would probably vouch it too, as he's been with the team for a while as well. They've never been strong rebounders. It's never been a Richmond Spider staple, but I understand where he's coming from, because it is very important for the Spiders to at least maintain some control of the boards, especially when they're not as efficient offensively in some of these games. If they could get the rebounds and get second chance shots and things like that, they probably would overcome some of those situations.
So far this season, they have a plus 10 rebounding margin. They're averaging 42 rebounds per game. Their opponent's averaging 32 rebounds per game. And according to KenPom, they rank 20th in the nation in allowing offensive rebounds. And then they're 126, about middle of the pack in terms of securing offensive rebounds for themselves. That's much better from last year, when they were 360th in the nation. And I know it's early. It's a 4-game sample. It's non-conference games. But just to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit, a year ago, at this point in the year, they were 1-3 with losses to Marist, Charlotte, and Bucknell.
Yeah.
3 not great teams. This year, they're 4-0, and they're not just wins. It was a pretty dominant win over ECU, a dominant win last night against VMI, and then, of course, the win over Southern Virginia Division III school. But they are playing well, and you said something last night that I think will make some Spiders fans happy when you text me. I don't know if you want to air that one out.
Maybe it's a little bit of an exaggeration,
well, look,
but
here, I'll help you out. Before you say that, last year I watched one JMU men's basketball game, right?
Yeah.
First game of the season. And I remember I said it on air. I think I said it on Talking Dukes. I said, this team's going to be better than the March Madness team we had a year ago. And if you remember what happened last year, they melted down and they lost in the Sun Belt tournament. And so they didn't even make it to March Madness, and it was rough.
I like what I see from the team, and I said to Jack in text that a couple years ago, I remember vividly, the Spiders got a lot of disrespect before the season started, and they ended up winning the A-10. Now, granted, I'm not saying this team's going to win the A-10, but they're a lot better than their preseason ranking that they got. And I know preseason rankings are kind of just a shot in the dark anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that there was a lot of uneasiness coming into this season because of what happened last year. But I think this team is definitely different from last year. And they've got good energy guys coming off the bench into the rotation. And as they continue to develop said rotation, I think you'll find that they've got a blend of probably 8-9 guys that will give solid production when they're on the floor.
Yeah, Richmond was picked to finish 10th, so maybe not dead last in 14th, but still not that great at 10th in the preseason. And they only got one player on the preseason all-conference team. It was Mike Walls, who was named to the preseason all-third team. So a little disrespectful in the preseason. Let's get a quick break in. We'll step aside. We've got some news or snooze we've got to hit on the other side of this break.
Richmond's history begins with the James River. Our water system began in the 1830s with iron and lead pipes. Nearly 200 years later, the original water lines are being replaced to ensure that our water remains clean, safe, and reliable. As part of a nationwide effort, we need to know the material of everyone's service line. Please help by taking our water service line survey. Learn more about the city's lead-free water program at rva.gov/public-utilities or call 646-8600. DPU and you. Let's get the lead out.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9069. 800-525-9069. 800-525-9069.
This year, make a tax-deductible contribution that can change a life. Every day, the American Red Cross helps thousands of people, providing emergency relief, emotional support, and essential care to families in need. We depend on your end-of-year donations to do this critical work. Donate to the American Red Cross before midnight, December 31st, and help us bring hope to a family with nowhere else to turn. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make a donation that will save someone's life.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
It's currently 44 degrees and cloudy with a high today of 56 and a low of 42. We're expecting overcast skies to continue throughout the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. High humidity throughout most of the day, leading into tomorrow with about a 70% chance of rain tomorrow with a high of 59 and a low of 44.
From Northwest Stadium to tailgates, Tuesday insiders and weekly deep dives, Raising Hail is Richmond's Commanders Connection. Only on your home for the NFL all season long. 106.1 ESPN Richmond. News.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Or snooze.
All right, news or snooze this morning. J.J. McCarthy likens play to cork about to pop off a bottle.
That's newsworthy.
What? Some people should not be allowed to give metaphors.
J.J. McCarthy should just be taken away from anything public speaking, because he also had that thing where he was like, I'm 9. Just in the fourth quarter, 9 comes out.
Just reinforces what I said yesterday. Give me the defense, man. Give me the dogs. Give me the man. Don't offense, just go do your thing.
He it's an insane quote. This is what he said. You just have to hear it from his mouth about this is insane.
Back when you watch the film, how close are you to piecing everything together and just saying, like, man, if I would just do this, we would be much better than what we are?
I feel like, for me, I kind of make the analogy of just like, a cork about to come off a bottle. Just understanding that it's, one to 3 little things that I need to change about my game that is going to make a huge difference in the outcome of every single drive in the game. So, yeah, I feel like it's really close, but it all comes down to the consistency of the fundamentals and the little details.
Cool.
Yeah, that's not true either. This cork is a 10-step process, buddy.
This cork, he thinks
that's too simple.
You know what he's opening? He thinks he's about to pop open a bottle of champagne. That's what he means. He's about to open a bottle of still wine, and it's not going to pop at all. And instead, he's going to have to yank it out himself, and nothing's going to work.
Just be a soda can. How about that?
He is 37th out of 41 QBs this season that have taken 20% of the team snaps in PFF grade. Among all quarterbacks who have taken at least 100 snaps, he is dead last in adjusted EPA per play, and he ranks 38th out of the 39 QBs who have taken 100 snaps this season in success rate. He's bad. Like, maybe that's too judgmental too early on in the young QB's career, but man, he's not good.
He hasn't had 17 starts yet.
No. He's on start like 5.
So, all right, I was doing this for Penix. I'll do it for McCarthy. I will give him a full season of starts before I, cast real judgment. But yeah, it doesn't look good.
Here's the thing, though, with McCarthy. This is a Super Bowl roster team. Like, this is a Vikings team that believe they have the roster put together to win a Super Bowl. They just need the QB to drop in to win the Super Bowl for him. They may not have a year and a half to figure things out and wait for JJ.
They should have done
that. You're right. That's a great rebuttal. Great
that's
rebuttal.
on them.
Sucks for you.
Yeah.
Good luck next time.
You made that decision, Minnesota, when you let Darnold and Jones go, or you didn't try to find somebody else to replace those guys.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
They had both Darnold and Jones on their roster a year ago.
Hindsight is insane. At the time, I was like, I'm not paying them.
At the time, I was like, Darnold. At the time, when Seattle signed Darnold, I went, oh, man. Yeah. And when Daniel Jones left, I was like, I wonder if he'll even be signed.
Yeah.
And now they're two of the MVP front runners. Meanwhile, J.J. McCarthy looks like maybe the biggest bust since Josh Rosen.
Yeah, probably. Although he didn't come in with expectations. Rosen did. McCarthy, I always thought was kind of a project anyway. But hey, his former coach from Michigan vouched for him as one of the best.
I think it was actually really smart by Harbaugh to vouch for him. He was playing mind games because Harbaugh, ultimate competitor, right?
Yeah.
He was vouching for McCarthy when he was an NFL coach. So he had turned the page on Michigan. Screw Michigan. We're over it. I'm in NFL mode. I'm competitive. Let me try and tank one of these teams in the NFL because I know how bad McCarthy is.
That's terrible.
And he was like, I'm going to say all this nice stuff, and they're going to draft him, and then I win. I'm playing 40 chess over here.
So yeah, sorry, Minnesota, but yeah, it's not looking good.
Yeah, not good at all.
Look, he doesn't even get a chance to turn into a pumpkin. He came in as a pumpkin.
He's rotting right now. He looks like the pumpkin on my front porch that has been eaten by squirrels.
James Franklin, Virginia Tech must operate like big-time programs.
Newsworthy. Mainly for the fact that it seems that Virginia Tech is giving a lot of power to James Franklin. Franklin said, quote, they already had a really good plan put together of what it looks like to be successful in today's college football, not only in the ACC. That's a mistake people make. Sometimes they benchmark only on their conference. The reality is we should benchmark nationally. If we truly have the expectations and the standards of where we want to go, then our commitment must match those expectations.
Hold on real quick. Did he say that coming from the Big Ten?
He said that coming from the Big Ten, where he was 1-18 all time against top 10 Big Ten opponents.
We put too much emphasis on our conference.
Hey, let me whisper this to James Franklin real quick. This is an AB conversation with me and James Franklin. Hey man, just focus on the ACC right now. That's all that matters.
Yes.
You can't win the big one, and we're okay with that. Just win the ACC.
Yeah, don't
hope no one heard that.
Don't leave home. Let's just focus on the ACC.
Win the ACC. Maybe win a college football playoff game once every 2 years, and then we're good to go.
But also, I gotta say again, college football fan in me, that's rich coming from anybody from the Big Ten and the SEC.
Yeah,
we don't have too much emphasis on conference.
So Bruce Arians said early on, if you remember this, and this is where I'm getting at, where it seems like they're giving a lot of power to James Franklin, and I think that's the right move, but it's a aggressive move. Bruce Arians, if you remember, he went on the Pat McAfee show. This was before they all signed that NDA. That was all weird. But he went on the Pat McAfee show and he was like, we're going to hire a strong general manager first, and then we're going to hire the coach, and we're going to modernize the athletic department. Well, things seemingly have changed because yesterday, Whit Babcock said everything in the future is entirely in the hands of Franklin. Quote, a lot will depend on who Coach Franklin brings with him. Shouldn't we already know that? Maybe not necessarily.
Well, I mean, they got to keep that close to the vest.
They got to come. Yeah. Quote, if he has in mind someone who he'd like to be the general manager, that's up to him. If he brings in a number of people who are great at player evaluation, maybe we add some data analytics or rev share people, it's really taking what we already do as a football staff and enhancing it. So I don't know if Bruce Arians was just, shooting from the hip in what he was talking about on the Pat McAfee show early on in the coaching search, but seems like they've kind of flipped their thought process on that, and they're now saying, Coach Franklin, you can decide where we go forward as a football program. And also another interesting part was that James Franklin repeatedly said how much he appreciated the close relationship he had developed with Whit Babcock, the athletic director, over the past couple of months while they were discussing the job opening and negotiating the contract. Whit Babcock was on the hot seat just a couple of months ago when this Pry Fire came out. And now it seems like Franklin's almost stumping for Babcock for him to keep his job as the athletic director. And now all of a sudden they've said no more GM. We'll let Franklin decide. A lot of power going to James Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they're also waiting to see who he can pull from Penn State to bring with him.
Poindexter.
Yeah. That was good. I wasn't trying to say his name directly.
Justin
yes.
Harper.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of guys out there right now. ODU's got a couple of coaches that they've got to.
Yeah.
But hey, it might be easy to get Justin Harper from JMU because that coaching staff's going to go to apparently UCLA. Football Scoops is reporting Chesney to UCLA is like a done deal.
Really?
I'll read it. I'll get the exact verbiage.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even see that.
You know Curry Hicks saga.
Nah.
Okay, I didn't expect you to. If you're chronically online like me,
yeah, I'm not.
They're a pretty big like college basketball account where I don't know, no one really knows who they are, but they've always got like the inside scoop on everything. And they tweeted out Chesney to UCLA, done deal.
Wow.
So nothing's been officially announced. It's all the rumor mill, but Football Scoops is kind of talking about it a lot in this random college basketball account now dabbling in college football. So could open things up for the coaches from JMU to maybe jump over to Tech.
I mean, you got a chance to do something really funny. Why don't you take the offensive coordinator from UCLA and make him your head coach?
That would be so funny. I mean, just a little trade.
He's gotten a lot of steam, so much so we laugh about it. We feel like he's the head coach and not the actual head coach because they've been hyping him so much. But either way, that was actually breaking news to me on the in the real time.
Yeah.
I really didn't see Chesney to UCLA. I thought they had their eyes somewhere else.
I think it also all could just be a power play by his agent to try and get some more stuff.
Does he even have a West Coast connection?
No.
Yeah.
No, that's the crazy
That's
part.
so strange.
That's the crazy part. I do want to go back real quick to James Franklin because he's had so much success recruiting Virginia too. He has recruited 11 players in the last 10 recruiting cycles that appeared on ESPN's Top 300, 26 from D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. So he's hit the DMV hard. In comparison, over the last 10 recruiting cycles, Virginia Tech as a whole has just signed 5 ESPN 300 recruits and 9 from the DMV.
Yeah, and it's not being said loud enough, but this technically, and that's no pun intended, really hurts Maryland because I think Maryland and Lotsky and them were trying to, they're trying to build that program back up. But James Franklin has a lot of sway in that area.
Yeah,
so, those kids are going to now still stay with him, essentially. Like, if he went out to like the South or something like that, it would have been different. But he's always been a power player in this region. So, yeah, it looks good. Let's see if he can flip some kids. I'm still hoping there's like one or two that he can flip. But, again, it looks good for Virginia Tech's good energy. We just have to see what it looks like on the field. And of course, give it at least a year or two, man. Like, I know people want success immediately. And Dave talked about that yesterday with you, how quick you could turn a program around. That is true. But still, there's a lot of moving parts in this, not only on the head coach, but as the system of football and how it's done at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Lots going to be changing. Let's give it at least a year. At least a year.
Yes. All right, what's the last
number
one?
3, ESPN MLB reached new 3-year media rights agreement.
Cool. News and newsworthy. I mean, it's important, but it also, I don't care. ESPN Major League Baseball reworked a deal that includes out-of-market streaming rights. NBC and Netflix will air games as part of a new 3-year media rights deal announced Wednesday. That's reported on by ESPN. Rob Manfred was, Rob Manfred, I think the Home Run Derby will be on Netflix for the first time ever. And NBC Peacock now will take over Sunday Night Baseball, the wild card round as well. Netflix will get the Home Run Derby, 2 additional games. The 3 deals average $800 million per year. ESPN will still pay $550 million, NBC $200 million, and Netflix $50 million. MLB's come a long way, man. 800, and I know we're over here, only $800 million.
No, I mean,
but like the NFL media rights are like in the billions, multiple billions, and MLB now can't crack the billion?
Well, baseball is it's a regional thing more than anything, right? Like you're looking to watch your team in your area. It's not like you don't see many Cowboy fans in this case, like you wouldn't see many opposing fans in the Nationals area, right? Like you if you're in the Nationals area, you typically want to see the Nationals or the Orioles, right? And even if you are an opposing fan, you're typically an opposing fan of somebody that's still relatively in the region, like the Phillies, like see the Phillies games and things like that. Like the business model just doesn't work for baseball like it does for football. Like football is just such a like no boundary sport when it comes to fandom. You can have a TV deal that goes to the billions because people are going to make money no matter what. You're not going to make a lot of money off the Rangers in Virginia, if that makes sense.
You're right. It's just insane how little that media rights deal is compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like it's $10 billion a year for the NFL, $7 billion a year for the NBA, and the MLB's $800 million.
When you put it like that, yeah.
Like that's a far way to fall. And maybe my numbers are wrong. That is like the preliminary research, and there might be more in depth in like the actual language. And look, I don't know the legal mumbo jumbo of it all, but that's newsworthy there for MLB. They have come a long way.
So wait, how much is it again?
According to this ESPN article, 3 deals in combined will average $800 million per year.
Shohei Ohtani makes $700 million in 10 years.
Yeah, like the NBA signed a $77 billion media rights deal over the next 11 years. The NFL's in the middle of a $110 billion media rights deal that runs for 11. When it was signed, it ran for 11 years. Both of those average out to $10 billion and $7.7 billion respectively. And now this is an $800 million a year, 3-year media rights deal. That's tough.
Like Shohei's basically a TV deal himself.
Yeah, he's probably bringing in more revenue than that. So crazy stuff. Let's get a quick break in, step aside. We'll be back to quickly wrap up this first hour.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Richmond LSV is a proud supporter of holiday cheer and gear on December 4th at Henrico Sports and Events Center. RichmondLSV.com. Fun, fully charged.
Celebrate the Richmond region's most inspirational sports stories at the RVA Sports Awards, Saturday, January 31st at the Altria Theater. Reserve your tickets now at visitrichmondva.com.
Illuminate Light Show, Virginia's largest, longest-running, and most affordable drive-through light and music show, is back and bigger than ever. We're talking 3 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some of your favorite Christmas tunes. Cap off the evening inside Santa's Village for food, fun, and shopping, and of course, pictures with Santa himself. Illuminate Light Show, 5:30 p.m. nightly at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell. More info at illuminatelightshow.com. Family owned and operated for over 12 years.
From college football to the pros, Matt Josephs has it covered. Border to Border brings you sharp analysis and fearless opinions every weekday at 3.
Don't miss Border to Border
On 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
Welcome back in. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside, wrapping up hour number 1 and moving it back here real quick to Chesney, UCLA, the rumors that are heating up over there. Rick Neuheisel, the father of Rich Neuheisel, who's the OC over there at UCLA, he said on CBS Sports during Saturday's coverage, or last Saturday's coverage, I forget which Saturday it was, but he said, quote, "I'm hearing Bob Chesney at UCLA. He's got to make a decision. With Mike Elko re-upping with Texas A&M, it seems like Penn State still got a spot. Chesney's from the state of Pennsylvania, so maybe he's waiting for something a little bit closer to home." Bruin Report Online is saying that Chesney is at the top of UCLA's coaching board. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
All right, hold on. Let's reel this in. Why is Elko's name even coming up? He won't leave it on A&M for Penn State. But I think
he wasn't leaving A&M for UCLA.
People need to understand how much money Texas A&M has. My friend's a donor, and he's high up, and he doesn't he's one of the small fish in as far as donors go. He's got a full court basketball court in his backyard. That lets you know how much money he has in his reserve to donate to the team. And he's a small fish. So they can pay they just paid a buyout that was more than some people's contract.
And they also then just opened up the pocketbook to keep Elko. They inked him to an extension. Elko's not leaving. And that's what Neuheisel was saying. He was maybe he was going to leave, but then they re-upped him and there's no way of leaving. Chris Vanini of The Athletic, I highly disagree with this list. He puts UCLA currently as the 6th best job opening. He had it above Virginia Tech and right below Arkansas. I would say UCLA is, I don't know.
Both of them.
Which one?
Behind both of them.
No, I'm saying I would put UCLA among the P4 openings right now, above only Stanford. And even that's questionable because Stanford's got a huge endowment. They've got a lot of money over there, and you saw what a good coach can do. Andrew Luck teaming up with Harbaugh at Stanford. They were a national power. So when was the last time UCLA was a national power? When Dorian Thompson-Robinson was there with Chip Kelly and they sneaked into the top 25? UCLA is probably the worst P4 opening out there right now. Chesney's getting linked, but it's just all rumors. So that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Could be a power play, though, to try and get his name up the board over there at Penn State, because that's where he's from. Hour 2 coming up.
From Hot Topics in the morning to Spider Pride in the evening, 106.1 ESPN Richmond keeps you talking. Fitz the Bill, Border to Border, the Mashup Hour, and the Sports Huddle. Always live and always local. 106.1, where Richmond talks sports.
The Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority is a proud sponsor of Holiday Cheer and Gear. Created to bring a little joy to underprivileged kids with your donation of new basketballs, footballs, soccer balls. Make plans to drop off any new sporting equipment Thursday, December 4th at the Henrico Sports and Events Center to benefit the Salvation Army Christmas Assistance Program. We'll be broadcasting live, collecting sporting gear from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and 3 to 6 p.m. and hope to see you there.
When you talk with your child about fentanyl, you might think they hear this. But what they'll really hear is this.
It only takes one tiny little bit of fentanyl to kill you. And they're putting in fake pills, and it might even be in vape pens.
Because research shows that parents are still one of the most important sources of information for kids. So have the talk about fentanyl. It only takes one conversation to save a life. Sponsored by It Only Takes One.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. People often ask me why our mattresses last so long. The answer is simple. We build them right. Not only are OMF mattresses durable, they give you peace of mind from day one. When you invest in a mattress from OMF, you're investing in better sleep tonight and smart savings for years to come. No more frequent replacements, no more wasted time shopping. To learn more about the true value of durability, visit originalmattress.com and read our latest blog on getting the most from your mattress investment.
Physicians, your future starts here. Eisenhower Health is recruiting across a variety of specialties. As a nonprofit health system in Southern California's beautiful Coachella Valley, Eisenhower offers medical excellence alongside an exceptional quality of life. Start your day with sunshine and stunning landscapes. End it knowing you've made a difference. Deliver top-tier care with advanced technology, all in a place where work-life balance thrives. Visit emc.org/MD to learn more. That's That's emc.org/MD. Eisenhower Health. Welcome home.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill on this Thursday, November 20th morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Alan alongside. Appreciate you clocking in on 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to be part of the show over there, type in ESPN Richmond, and you can comment, like, and subscribe. And we want to hear from you as well. 804-327-0888. You can call that number. You can text that number. Coming up later on, it's going to be some fantasy football advice as we get set for the week ahead in in NFL action. My head is in college because I want to talk a little bit more about James Franklin yesterday being introduced as Virginia Tech's next head coach. And with that introductory press conference yesterday, Virginia Tech has officially entered the James Franklin era. And we talked about it in News or Snooze, but Virginia Tech turning over a lot of power in this program to James Franklin. And I imagine that is stemming from the fact that there were long negotiations. Virginia Tech was able to meet every single one of his monetary demands, and I don't mean that in like a rude way. You just have what you ask him for, and Virginia Tech was able to match it. But I would go out on a limb and say that Virginia Tech probably also gave him a little bit extra power over the program because that's what he wanted in order to bring in James Franklin, because odds are there were other suitors, Arkansas, looking to get James Franklin's, ability to come over and coach. But this hire, as we've been saying, we said it with Beamer when he was a top candidate in the whole process. We said it right when Brent Pry was fired. Heck, we said it in the offseason about Brent Pry and this year. This year was going to shape the future of Virginia Tech football. And this hire is now going to shape the future of Virginia Tech football. And it's going to decide if the Hokies can get back to the mountaintop. And I use the word mountaintop because that's what athletic director Whit Babcock said. He said that this hire is the first step to getting back to the mountaintop. And maybe Virginia Tech can finally fill that empty trophy case that they used to have on campus. They took Alpha Campus in 2014 because they realized no national championship trophies were getting anywhere close to that thing. But maybe Virginia Tech can start filling that with some ACC championship trophies, maybe a couple bowl game trophies, some college football playoff trophies, and maybe down the line, James Franklin can start winning the big games and they can fill it with national championship trophies. But it was officially the start of the Franklin era yesterday, and it was an emotional press conference for James Franklin, specifically when he started talking about Brent Pry. And we had David Cunningham back on the show on Tuesday following the news breaking on Monday to kind of talk about the entire process. And he mentioned something really interesting about that Brent Pry-James Franklin relationship and how important Brent Pry was to this entire process.
You know what? I will say this. I've heard throughout the process that Brent Pry and James Franklin go back a long ways to their Vanderbilt days, but even farther than that. When James Franklin played college football at East Stroudsburg, Brent Pry was on the staff. His dad was the offensive coordinator. Brent Pry was, I think, the linebackers coach. I mean, they go back to the early 90s with James Franklin. And their wives are very close. Their families are very intertwined. And I heard throughout the entire process that James Franklin, anytime they would ask the Pry family, Brent and Amy, his wife, just about living in Blacksburg and Virginia Tech and what it's being like, they were very positive and had very glowing remarks about coming here. And I don't think Virginia Tech gets James Franklin if Brent Pry and Amy Pry don't say positive things.
I love that. That is such an interesting insight there from David, that he doesn't know if Franklin is coming without Brent Pry speaking glowingly of Virginia Tech. And you heard the connection that Franklin had with Pry yesterday. He got a little emotional when he started mentioning Brent Pry because that was his DC back at Penn State, that they've been together, like David said, for a long time. And that connection helped bring Franklin in. And I think along with that connection, the fact that Virginia Tech is giving him so much power over the program made Virginia Tech a spot that Franklin could not pass up. And Franklin also went on to say this in the introductory press conference, and it's one of my favorite things that coaches say in these press conferences.
Into this place more than me and my family. I give you my word on that. Sorry. Sorry, you're going to find I'm an emotional guy. I don't take things for granted. My wife makes fun of me. We'll be sitting there watching, TV, and a commercial will come on, and she'll look over, and I'm getting emotional about the commercial. She's like, "Are you kidding me right now?" But I just think I don't take this for granted. I don't take my family for granted. I don't take my career for granted. This is all I got. I don't have any other hobbies. My wife says I don't have any other skills.
I love it when a coach says that. I love it when a coach says, I have no other hobbies. Football is my life. It's a little unhealthy.
I mean, I was going to say, football's not my life, but like sports is my life.
Yeah, I get that.
Sports and I'm not even going to lie. I don't know what else I would do either, honestly.
There's a reason we're waking up early every morning to host a radio show.
I felt that, James. I felt that.
I love it when a coach is like that, where they're like, I don't care about anything else. You're about to get a good football coach. Probably not the best people person or anything like that, but Franklin's a good recruiter, so he says he has no other skills. He clearly has a good networking ability.
He knows how to articulate.
But they introduced him yesterday, and it's going to be a tall task for James Franklin. Like that's for sure, because Virginia Tech has come a long way down from where they were at the heights under Frank Beamer, where they were with the heights of Michael Vick and Frank Beamer. They are weathering through a disappointing season. They've been weathering through a disappointing, past decade where nothing seems to have gone right. Every move they've made has been the wrong one, and they're hoping this one's going to be the right one, because if it's not, you get all this buy-in, the school gives you an increased budget, and you make this pretty large move, you give them a lot of power. I think it's going to work, because it's worked everywhere Franklin has gone. He's now coached in the SEC with success at Vanderbilt. He's coached in the Big Ten with success at Penn State, and now he's coming to the ACC. He's the first coach, I think, since Lou Holtz to coach in all three conferences.
Slick Lou.
I was going to do the Lou Holtz impression.
I stopped you. Trust me. Everybody tries it. So.
I'm not good at that one. I've got a couple of them in my back pocket. I'm really good at Dobby the elf from Harry Potter, but nothing else.
No, we don't need Lou impression.
No, I won't do a Lou impression. But he has the success. He's had success at every stop, so there's no reason to believe this won't be a successful run. But there is a lot riding on this hire, and that is underselling how important this is.
The stakes are high, but I think the concept is what it's always been. When you're starting a new program in college football or any high-level sport, establish a culture first.
Yes.
When you establish the culture, establish expectations. Your foundational class or group of guys need to have the understanding, so you reach one, teach one. They can tell the next guys coming in, or they can kind of, hold each other accountable, and it builds from there. And I think James understands that, or Coach Franklin understands that. Having success at
Jim.
Yeah, having success at Vandy, and then, transitioning to Penn State and so forth. And again, he took Penn State over when it was in better standing than when
Bill O'Brien
took it
but
over.
Still, it's not in great standing.
Yeah, but it wasn't where he left it better off to some extent than he inherited it. And again, it just started with establishing a culture and expectations. And Virginia Tech's, they've got more pedigree, I think, than people want to give them credit for. Like that list having UCLA above them. I think I saw one of the more infamous college football pundits also kind of put down the allure of coaching Virginia Tech as well. And I was like, I don't think it's me being a homer. I think, honestly, it's a football school.
I think it's a fundamental misunderstanding of how Virginia Tech is in kind of the running among state schools. Like, when they are playing at their best, they are the number one team in Virginia. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. UVA making a little bit of a push for that. But Virginia Tech, when playing well, is the number one team. And you hit on something that I think is really important, and it's establishing culture, right? Because Virginia Tech has tradition. It has its embedded culture. It has its embedded things that they do. Enter Sandman, the lunch pail, everything like that. Special teams, beamer ball. I think there's a little part of James Franklin that's going to have to get away from some of that because this is a new step forward. I'm not saying you stop bringing out the lunch pail. I know it's important. I'm not saying you stop playing Enter Sandman, but I feel like other coaches have leaned too much into the past. I think James Franklin has to look to the future, use the past as kind of a roadmap, but don't give yourself in to the Virginia Tech tradition. Kind of create your own, kind of reset the culture, rebuild the culture, revitalize the culture, but also make your own imprint on it, which I think is something that Fuentes didn't accept the culture whatsoever, and I think Pry leaned into it a little bit too much, and I think those are the two failures of those two guys, and it's you're not going to recreate what Beamer did. You're going to have to pave your own path and go forward with that. And I think you nailed that by saying he's got to come in and create a culture there in Virginia Tech of winning, something they have not really done at a consistent level since the late 2000s, early 2010s. All right, let's go out to the phone lines real quick. We've got Reggie on line one. Good morning, Reggie. How are we doing?
Hey, gentlemen. Great show as always. You know, it was interesting press conference that Coach Franklin had when they asked different questions, especially about the squad coming in. If he's able to, how many players you think he's going to flip? Because we know when Coach Prime went to Colorado, he bought 60 players from Jackson State. How many Penn State players you think he's going to bring in the follow-up, if I may?
Yeah, I don't know how. I think he'll get a couple of Penn State guys just because that is their coach. I don't know if they would get as many flips as maybe if this had happened at the end of the season. I think Penn State may have been able to keep a couple of dudes, but there'll definitely be some Penn State and Indy Lions coming over. I think he's going to flip some of their commits, too. I know Trinity has a wide receiver who's a 4-star who's committed to Penn State currently. Maybe he flips to Virginia Tech. I know Franklin will probably be calling on a lot of other Virginia products who may be committed to Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and other Big Ten schools or even other ACC schools trying to get them to come, quote-unquote, back home and play at Virginia Tech. So I think we'll see just a couple of transfers from Penn State, but I think where you'll see the biggest impact is on the recruiting trail.
Well, he said he contacted 40 already.
Woo!
And he said, I'm on the phone with 40 people now. And I'm like, okay, somebody's not staying here. If you're on the phone with 40 of them, if I'm playing at Virginia Tech now, I'm like, well, let me go ahead and get those.
Reggie, remember what Dion said? Remember what Dion said? He said, I got my Louis baggage. I'm coming in. I think James Franklin, he's got some Louis baggage coming in.
He said, I got my quarterback. But your co-host, he had an opportunity, and this goes with the fiasco that happened Monday night on Monday Night Raw. Alan, how heavy was that belt that you was able to hold with Cody Rhodes? I thought about you with that fiasco on Monday.
Hey, that belt, I'm not even ashamed to say it. It's still it's got to be like my top 2 favorite sports moments of all time, just for the simple fact that the WWE is a iconic element of sports and entertainment, whether it's real or not. It's not real, of course. But
what?
Yeah, I know. But like just the idea,
can break your leg.
Yeah, the idea of being behind the scenes, seeing their production and things like that. That belt is actually at least 15 pounds. It's got some density to it. It's not light.
Yeah, well, I can tell you when you got a football player with his leg in a cast, and it might be choreographed, but you get to push.
Yeah, that part was crazy. That part was crazy. Those bumps are real. The smacks are real. So all that part is real. Obviously, the shoving and posturing was choreographed, but I wouldn't want Scatterboo anywhere near a WWE event at all.
Get him out of there.
All I got to say is that ESPN and WWE is a gold mine. They've had absent between 20 to 30 million people watch Roman Reigns and his opponent. I'm like, somebody's making some cheddar when it comes to advertisement. And they can sell out the football stadium not once but twice in Vegas. Come on now, guys. You got to give the boys credit.
Oh, yeah, I give them credit.
They know how to put on a show. They've WWE is also so interesting because it's faded and come back on multiple occasions.
It's an event, man. Like I said, the energy was good at the arena, and like generational interest from a kid being 4 to 5 years old dancing with Jey Uso to what's his name? Some of the rappers there, Quavo and some of those guys were there who are older, teenagers, old men, like grandpas there from like when even before Hulk Hogan
back in the WWF days.
Yeah, like even before that, like there was just such a range of fandom. It makes sense to me why it just hasn't fully ever died out, despite people being like, "Oh, this is stupid. It's fake." It's entertainment.
It's a soap opera.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. A live action soap opera.
Yeah, it's a stomach turn.
Yeah, pretty much. Man.
Reggie, appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your Thursday.
You too.
There goes Reggie.
Hey, he made a good point too. WWE's so blended with our sports world.
Yeah.
Just off the championship belts. But I think Seth Rollins has like a weekly segment or daily segment on NFL Network.
He was hosting
Get Up, Good Morning
Football.
Yeah. He's always I always see him on there.
He was interviewing Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah, they were part of the NFL draft as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a huge cross. You saw Halliburton last year; he was part of it, and like
that was actually awesome because what's his name, Brunson got in on it too, and then they ended up in the play.
And then they ended up in playoffs together, and everyone's like, "Is this scripted?" But there is a huge crossover between the WWE and professional sports, which is so. I would love to talk to an athlete about why there's such a deep love for the WWE with professional athletes, because I don't know.
They're rock stars, man.
I'm not a WWE guy.
You don't have to be a WWE guy, but like that's the thing. Like they're legitimate rock stars. Like if Batista or any of those guys, like you could just throw out a name.
That is great. That is true because like I know Batista, I know Rey Mysterio, Brock Lesnar,
and if they're
The
walking
Rock,
through the airport or something like that,
CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns.
Like it's
I
just
can keep going.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just that they're iconic and it's like culturally speaking, like
John Cena,
even in Europe, they just resonate with fans. So
they do a good job.
Yeah. So like, I mean, why wouldn't you want to be part of the mystique? You know, like you get to be with the champ, you get to raise the belt, like you're part of the act now, right? I think that's why a lot of people do the crossover, and it doesn't. It's not even sports too. Like we've had entertainers do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Bad Bunny was part of WWE.
Everyone's been part of WWE.
Yeah.
Soon we'll be part of the WWE when we make it big.
I would absolutely love to be a manager or do the mic work. I do not want to do the wrestling.
Yeah, I don't. My body would break the second I
couldn't
get
handle
touched.
that. But I cut a mean promo. I'm a Macho Man Randy Savage, Ric Flair fan, and their mic work was always phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, so I would definitely. Dusty Rhodes, I loved him, man. Loved the
Cody
mic work.
Rhodes.
Cody's mic work's not like his father, but I respect him.
Yeah, that's true. Let's get a quick break in. We'll step aside. We've got Thursday night football here tonight. The Bills take on the Texans. A lot of AFC East playoff implications around this game, so we'll get to that on the other side.
Get the latest update on Henrico County sports tournaments, happenings, and future events on ESPN Richmond's newest segment, the Henrico Huddle. Join Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer as he joins Bob Black on the Sports Huddle. For more information on Henrico Sports and Event Center calendar, visit online at henricosea.com or tune in to the last Wednesday of each month for the Henrico Huddle on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
With 19 NCAA Division I sports and 84 majors, Coastal Carolina University affords student athletes the competition and learning they crave. From FBS football to ladies volleyball, from championship baseball to ladies lacrosse, from business to theater arts, Coastal Carolina University offers a depth of learning both on the field and in the classroom. Eager ambition is a hallmark of students and faculty at Coastal Carolina University. Schedule a tour and learn more at coastal.edu.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Illuminate Light Show, Virginia's largest, longest running, and most affordable drive-through light and music show, is back and bigger than ever. We're talking 3 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some of your favorite Christmas tunes. Cap off the evening inside Santa's Village for food, fun, and shopping, and of course, pictures with Santa himself. Illuminate Light Show, 5:30 p.m. nightly at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell. More info at illuminatelightshow.com. Family owned and operated for over 12 years.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers. Oh, they're here. Who needs something to drink?
We've been overindulging a little more than usual. Thank goodness we both added active liver to our diets to give our livers some much-needed support so we have the energy we need to enjoy the holidays. Try Active Liver today and enjoy all the holiday treats with the peace of mind of knowing you're giving your liver some relief.
Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
He's betting against the spread and sometimes logic. Matt Josephs, live at 3 on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
Is this for Josh Allen? Coming into Houston?
No,
or
not
back
at
to
all.
the WWE
It
chat?
was just a callback to
Yeah.
the idea that when you hear that, you know what it means and you get excited. You can't help it.
I thought you were going to do, I forgot his name. McMahon's son's Money, Money, Money.
Oh, no. But I got that too.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. I know him too.
But yeah,
Undertaker?
Forget Josh. He's no Stone Cold. I don't know what my guy's doing, but he's winning football games.
He's funny. And so we've got the Bills-Texans tonight on Thursday Night Football, and these island games have not been the greatest. And I for a rare occasion feel bad for the NFL, because a lot of these, especially Thursday night, you go into it and you're like, all right, we're going to try and put some solid games on these Thursday night games. We can't flex them, so we better hope that at the end of the year the games still have meaning. Bills-Texans 5-5, looking a little better.
It has meaning.
This one, then that's why I say this one's probably the best Thursday night game we've had in quite some time. That's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of feel for the NFL, because last week, Patriots-Jets was a bit of a snoozer. Raiders-Broncos the week before was a snoozer. Ravens-Dolphins was a snoozer. Vikings-Chargers was a snoozer. Do I need to keep going? The last good one we had was week 7 when the Bengals beat the Steelers 33-31, and Jamar Chase had, 27 targets? Just insane. But Bills-Texans tonight. Bills are a 6-point favorite on the road in Houston. Houston, without C.J. Stroud again for the third straight week. Davis Mills, however, 2-0 in the 2 games he has started in place of the injured C.J. Stroud. Allen, though, I'm worried, not worried, but I think the Bills should be on upset watch here.
No, for sure. It'll be competitive. D'Amico and this defense, if they get the turnovers, I think that might be the difference maker to making it competitive.
Exactly.
I don't know if Davis Mills can summon enough good juju to just outplay Josh Allen in the sense that it would take from a quarterback in this situation. But the Josh Allen I've seen over the last couple weeks making some of these really ill-advised risk with a defense like the Texans have, that could bite them in the butt on the Thursday night.
So Josh Allen had done a really good job of taking care of the football through the first 9 weeks of the season. He put the ball in harm's way just 3 times with 3 turnover-worthy plays, and he had just 4 interceptions thrown. Over the last 2 weeks, he has doubled his turnover-worthy play number up to 6, and he has thrown 3 interceptions over the last 2 weeks, not to mention he also has a fumble in there. His plays, I mean, they've won the football game, so how much can you really complain? He's thrown for over 300 yards in both games. He threw for 2 touchdowns 2 weeks ago against Miami. He threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for 3 touchdowns against the Buccaneers. But a D'Amico Ryans-led Texans defense, which has been one of the best defenses in the entire NFL all season long, could start to turn over Allen, and that could keep the Texans in it. And the way that the Texans have been playing offense recently, it's been kind of playing scared, but it's worked for them. Like, you've got Davis Mills in there, and it's worked for him.
I don't think it's playing scared. I think it's knowing that you got to keep the leash short with my guy Davis Mills.
You know that if you ask him to throw more than 30 times in a game, you lost the game.
And then the thing that stinks is they don't really have a running game, so it's just a hard watch, right? You're playing conservative in your passing attack because you don't want to turn the ball over, and you can't offset that conservative play calling with an explosive run game because you don't have one. So it leads to a lot of 3-and-outs. But guess what? You win games 15-13 on a regular basis. Like, if I was the Texans, honestly, and I'm not usually a proponent of this, like, if we could just get into field goal range, let's get some points out of this and play defense.
All right, kicking Kyle.
I know, man. I'm not really. That's really hypocritical.
I can't
of me
believe you
saying
said that. Wow,
But
I'm
have
shocked.
you watched the Texans this year?
I'm shocked.
Have you watched the Texans?
Yes, I have. They are horrible.
That's got to be your
offensively.
game plan sometimes.
They are so bad. This game has a huge swing in playoff chances,
Yes,
too.
it does.
A win for Houston would mean that they are 38% to make the playoffs. A loss drops them down to 13%.
Yeah.
So huge swing. And, I mean, where the Texans were 2 weeks ago when Davis Mills took over the starting job, I think everyone expected them to go 0-2 and go from 3-5 to 3-7. Instead, they've been 2-0 and they're up to 5-5. It's a big test, but that defense, though, Josh Allen's struggling keeping care of the football recently.
Well, the Bills' defense in general hasn't been all
Bills
that
have
great
been
either.
kind
I
of
think they're
bad.
They're like 31st in the run, but again, they're playing a team, and this will be interesting for the folks who like stats and things like that. A god-awful run defense versus a mediocre rush offense or below average rush offense. Who's going to win when they meet head to head?
This is one of my favorite games. A movable object meets a penetrable force.
Yeah.
Because you're right. The Bills rank as the 4th worst rush defense in the NFL according to PFF grade, and the rushing grade of, it's not much better. The Houston Texans are pretty bad at running the football.
They are.
They've got a 76.9 PFF grade, but their EPA per all the nerd numbers also, they struggle to consistently run the ball effectively. So that'll be fun to see.
I'm a little shocked that Stroud's still in concussion protocol.
Stroud, yeah.
It's been 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
That's a bad concussion.
Yeah, that's interesting and also concerning. Not that obviously don't want to rush him back, but he doesn't have an extensive concussion history. And typically, if they don't have an extensive history, guys usually come back within a game at least.
Yeah, man, that's been a bad concussion. That's something I wish we got, and we can't know everything about these players. HIPAA. But like we typically get to know that like the severity of an ankle sprain. Oh, like not when they say high ankle sprain or low ankle sprain. That just describes where the sprain occurs. But like, oh, this is a grade 1, a grade 3. We get to know. For concussions, they're just like, he's in protocol. And it's like, well, was it bad? Is it not bad?
Probably for legal purposes too. They don't want to reveal that because all the CTE data and everything.
That's a great point. His brain's cereal now.
Yeah.
It's just scrambled big time.
They probably want to keep that under wraps as well. But if they can come out of this with like by a miracle, a win, man, that would be great for the Texans. But the Bills are they're just a continuation of what we've seen this year, where up is down. The Bills are not the best team in their division. The Chiefs are not the best team. The Ravens are not the best team. Just all the top teams in the AFC are down this year.
So Bills currently have a 92% chance to make the playoffs. That jumps up to 98% with a win. Does drop to 86% with a loss. However, that's still very much, great odds there. But the Bills 5th in the AFC, 7-3 this season. So they've secured themselves, but not likely to win the AFC East. That seems to be the Patriots' division to lose at this point, because the Patriots also have the head-to-head win as it stands over the Buffalo Bills. Those two teams will play one more time. But this game, we're at the point of the season when you're looking at these games and it's kind of like, all right, what matters more? Who has more to lose in this game? And that can sometimes come into play. The Texans are playing with their backs against the wall. They have more to lose. I think they're going to play aggressively. I think this Texans defense is going to really give Buffalo some fits. And look, when a penetrable force meets a movable object, typically I like the movable object to get some yardage on the penetrable force. So I think the Bills' defense may struggle to stop the run today. And the Texans might be able to just play ball control and win an ugly 17-10 ball game.
All right, I did some quick research. Looks like Stroud was limited in practice on Tuesday, so they're likely just sitting him because it's a Thursday night game. If it was Sunday, he probably would have cleared and played.
Another reason why I hate Thursday night games.
So sorry. So it's not. I'm not as concerned with that. Advantage to me goes to Texans defense just in general in this game. We talk about 3 levels of football. Like the Texans defense is the best unit in this game across the board. I expect a big night out of Will Anderson. He's the exact type of player you need to give Allen Fitz and to kind of contain him a little bit. I also think they've got the secondary to just match up man for man, and they have the ability to be really aggressive today if they want to be, just because the Bills have other storylines, like Keon Coleman's been benched, having some issues as well.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then, you really just, the run game has been okay, but a little inconsistent. Everything just builds around Josh Allen. So, like, D'Amico Ryans has come up with some really good game plans against some really good quarterbacks. And I don't think this will be any different. So at the end of the day, if they don't win, I don't think it'll be because of the defense. I just lack of offensive production.
It is like this defense is like one of the best ones in the league, and
they're a lot of fun.
It's the flip, it feels like, of the Cincinnati Bengals, where the Bengals, even with Joe Flacco, have been a top 5 offense this season, but the defense is last in scoring. Teams are crushing them, and it's like, well, if they could just get a little bit more out of their defense, the Bengals would be right in the prime position of the playoff hunt. And then for the Texans, it's the exact opposite. If they could just get a little bit something out of their offense. And they've gotten a little bit of something out of their offense these last 2 weeks with Davis Mills. But they're going to need a lot more out of their offense if they want to pull out a win against the Bills. Granted, they're at home, which is a plus. But Seattle went into their place earlier this season and beat them up pretty well on a Monday night game that kicked at 10 p.m. So not a lot of people saw it. Texans get the edge defensively. That's the best unit in this game. I think the Texans also get the edge with the head coach. I think D'Amico Ryans is a better coach than Sean McDermott. However, the Bills' offense is just miles better than what the Texans could even dream of.
McDermott,
I don't think he's a good coach.
He's frustrating sometimes.
I think he's a fine coach.
I think he sometimes lets the game get away from him.
I think he's very stubborn as well.
That too.
I think he's like, I am playing my defense. And it's like, well, Sean McDermott, your middle linebacker's Matt Milano, whose prime was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I need you to figure something out.
They've got a couple of like leaks in their defense. Yeah. That's why I'm not opposed to the idea that the Texans could outright win this game, or it should be competitive. Because again, it's just a matter of, if Josh Allen is not clean today, like if he's not without interceptions or fumbles, I don't think they're gonna have an easy time with this Texans team. And the spread's only 6 points.
Yeah,
which is not a Buffalo Bills type spread going up against a backup quarterback. Typically, those games are like 9-10 points, but we see 6 here. So I think Vegas knows a little bit too.
Yeah, that key number. It's a key number right there. They are keeping it below a touchdown. Let's get a quick break in. We'll be back. Talk some fantasy football as we get ready for the final stretch of the season in fantasy football world. The trade deadline, it's coming up. Some leagues it may have already passed. Other leagues you may still have it coming up. So we'll target some players that you may want to trade for, some players you may want to try and sell off, some other players you may want to hold on to, and we'll highlight some potential under-the-radar league winners that you can target. Maybe it's through a trade. Maybe they're on the waiver wire as it stands because of injuries, and they could be big-time players for you, helping push you over the edge to win your fantasy championship. And we want to answer any fantasy football questions. Text them in 804-327-0888. But before we do any of that, head on out to line one as we've got Dolphin Dave out there. And before we hear what you got to say, Dolphin Dave, I want to know, how are you feeling about Mike McDaniel and Tua at this point?
I still don't feel good about Mike McDaniel. I will be honest with you. I guess I got to watch till the end of the season. I don't want to say our fate, our decisions being made are going to be deciding on who we get as a GM. We need to get somebody who's willing to go in there and mix it up. We need someone who's not to be afraid to go ahead and, if not fire Mike McDaniel, just make sure that we have some more toughness on that team, which I've been screaming about since the beginning of the season with you guys. I don't feel like we have.
Yes.
And the other thing is the fact that I was actually kind of surprised after the Sunday morning game, Spain did not declare war on us after how bad that game was. It just was an awful, awful game. And I've got a proposition for you two. I will bet you guys each $50 cash that the Miami Dolphins will not lose this weekend.
Hey, that's a great bet. Bye weeks have given the Dolphins some trouble over the last few years, but I think this year you're right. The Dolphins can come away with a win.
They could come away with a win. The fact they're not playing is probably coming away with a win. So I just want to let you know that. But no, you know what? I don't see Mike McDaniel taking us to the promised land, and that's where everybody wants to go. Now, I don't know who's out there. I mean, Dave bandied around even Gruden coming in, and I don't love his what he did. I really don't. I'm almost to the point of forgiving him, but we need someone who's, excuse my French, a hard butt. Okay, we need somebody in there that goes ahead and will just will not put up for the crap, will not be a friend of the players. Okay, will not do something like, I don't know if you saw, but when he was sitting back he's actually sat in a press conference when they were talking to, I think, the second string running back, and he actually asked the question in the press conference, how do you get along with your coach and how does he prepare you? And you know what? While that's really funny, we're in the middle of a season. What we really need to do is go ahead and not have this guy be a jokester for coming in. You don't want to be the unapproachable person, but you can't be the man that's so approachable that no one's afraid of him. And that's the thing. I don't think anybody's afraid of him. And I've always said that with I've got 3 great kids. Of all my kids were just not real afraid of me, but slightly afraid of me. Okay? And there were circumstances to what you do. Okay? And so that's what I'm just saying. We have to have a team mentality that the coach is the one person. Now, I have one other question to ask you. It's nothing to do with the Dolphins. But I will get off and let you get your opinion. I was listening to a prominent guy I really like on national radio yesterday, and I think he's actually on your station, Rich Eisen, in the afternoon. And I really like Rich Eisen a lot. And they were talking about Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, they don't know whether he's going to be able to play this week. And then they made the statement where it's going to be Aaron Rodgers' decision. I don't understand how it becomes Aaron Rodgers' decision. This just blew my mind. And I tried to call in there to ask why. And the point being is the fact Mike Tomlin's the coach. Shouldn't it be the coach's decision? When did Aaron Rodgers have so much power that he can tell you I'm playing or I'm not playing? I'm going to play. I don't care if my wrist hurts. I'm still going to play. And so maybe you can answer that off the air, because I don't think it should be Aaron Rodgers' decision. I think bottom line is the coaches should be coaching, and they're the ones that should be making these decisions.
Dolphin Dave, appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your Thursday. And on that Aaron Rodgers point, man, today I'm having to defend two QBs I typically trash. Jalen Hurts.
Stay on brand.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers shouldn't.
I'm not going to defend Will Wade when it comes up.
With Aaron Rodgers, the reason why it's in his hands is because even at Aaron Rodgers' 75%, 80%, whatever he's at with the wrist injury on his non-throwing wrist, he's still better than Mason Rudolph. So Mike Tomlin has essentially said, Rodgers, it is your decision to see if you can play through the pain. Rodgers said yesterday it feels better than it did on Sunday, focusing on rehab, trying to get on the field tomorrow. That's today when he said this quote, see what I can do. And he has to be able to protect himself with that wrist, which it's up to him to figure out if he can go. It's like when there's a player who may have like tweaked his knee or something, and before the game, he's a, quote, game time decision. They'll have him go out and do some routes, do some running to see how he feels on that knee. And then the player can make the decision, work with the training staff to kind of figure out exactly what the best route forward is. So I don't think this is the Steelers giving Aaron Rodgers all of the power. I think it's them going, well, where you're at is better than Mason Rudolph. And, we're going to let you figure out if you can actually play through it, because we'd love to have you. We need you as we're trying to keep atop the AFC North. So as much as I love to pile on Aaron Rodgers there and be like, yeah, crazy they're giving him all this power, it's because his wrist is hurt and he's the only one that knows exactly how much pain he's in. He's the only one that knows how much pain he's willing to withstand. He's the only one that knows if he's still able to protect himself with that hurt wrist. So it is up to him to kind of make that decision to go.
Yeah, and I'll say, we can say the quiet thing out loud. If you're a Super Bowl winner, multiple MVP winner, and you're at the latter point of your career, you've been in the league for what spans about 2 decades at this point, you get to make that decision.
Even though he stinks.
Yeah, even though he stinks, like this is an organization in the Steelers, they're going to give the vets that kind of privilege at a position like that. Like if it was maybe like a backup or something, but like a starting player that they respect, who has shown time in and time out that they can produce and they've earned that kind of clout in the league, they'll give them that kind of leeway.
I think even if it was a fifth-year QB who's kind of been a journeyman, who's their best option at QB in that moment, they'd be like, hey, are you able to play? Like Joe Burrow is essentially deciding when Joe Burrow will return.
1,000%.
And granted, that's Joe Burrow. But a lot of it, it's like, hey, we'd love to have you back because you're our best option. So you let us know when you're good to go. And that's kind of what Aaron Rodgers is doing. There is also the fact that this is against the Bears. And he was asked if it's giving him extra incentive to play on Sunday.
That's great.
His quote was, there's incentive for every opponent, but I have enjoyed many a Sunday and Monday and Thursdays in that city. It's a great sports town, phenomenal sports fans, and great place to play. As a reminder, Aaron Rodgers is 24-5 all time against the Chicago Bears.
Aaron Rodgers and the Bears are Peter Griffin and the chicken.
I own you.
Yes.
All right, let's get a quick break in. We'll step aside. Be back with some fantasy football talk here on Fitz the Bill.
The RVA Sports Awards are back. Celebrate our sports community by nominating a coach, athlete, or local leader who inspired you and showcases the true RVA spirit. Nominations are now open for Athlete of the Year, Team of the Year, Coach of the Year, as well as Most Inspirational Moment in 2025. The 5th Annual RVA Sports Awards will be held Saturday, January 31st at the Altria Theater, hosted by 2-time Olympic gold medalist and soccer legend Brianna Curry. Reserve your tickets today online at visitrichmondva.com. Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is a proud sponsor of the Holiday Cheer and Gear Donation broadcast December 4th at the Henrico Sports and Events Center.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
The first week in December is Holiday Cheer and Gear Week at Henrico Sports and Event Center. Stop by to drop off gear Thursday at the Battle of the Badges game or in the lobby Saturday and Sunday.
How would you like a free dinner? That's right, a free dinner. Hi, I'm Jeff Trice with the Insurance Doctor, and I've been telling you for years how nobody beats the Insurance Doctor's prices. And now I'll prove it. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you, and if we can't beat your price, I'll buy you dinner at the restaurant of your choice. So now is the perfect time to shop your auto insurance, because I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. Either way, you get paid. Our competitors like to say they can save you money on your car insurance, but only the Insurance Doctor has a low price guarantee. So no matter who you're with, we will beat their price. It's guaranteed. Oh, and by the way, I'll throw in your own personal agent for free. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you. I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. So call us today and see why I say nobody beats the Insurance Doctor.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
He's the voice of the Richmond Spiders and your companion for the drive home. Bob Black. Weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on the Sports Huddle. Only on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill here on this Thursday morning, November 20th. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Allen alongside. As we get set for Week 12 of the NFL season, it begins tonight with the Bills and the Texans squaring off on Thursday Night Football. Amazon Prime, the Bills are 6-point favorites. But at this point in the season, if you're a fantasy football player, you turn your attention to the playoffs. The playoffs? Jinx.
Yeah, I know.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
You have to do that.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? Playoff. We're talking about practice. So you turn your attention to fantasy football playoffs, right? And this is the point where trade deadlines, I think Sleeper League gets passed. I'm in a Sleeper League. I can't make any more trades. But for ESPN, Yahoo leagues, if you're in one of those, the trade deadline, I believe, is this week, if not today. It's coming up quick. So you want to get these trades in as soon as possible. A couple of these guys, I think, are under the radar league winners. So they may be currently on the waiver wire. They may be able to get got for a cheap price. And they should have a pretty substantial role here over weeks, 14, 15, 16, 18, 17. I completely forgot the number 17. And then moving forward in the prime of the playoffs, the fantasy football playoffs. And then also some players that you may want to sell or buy right now before the trade deadline closes so that you can really bolster your team heading into this stretch run. For league winners, Kenneth Gainwell for the Steelers may be a little fun addition to your team who could play that RB2 flex role pretty well. Jalen Warren went down, and it now puts Gainwell in that RB1 role. If you're in a PPR league, a point per reception league, this is huge for Kenneth Gainwell because he's a very good pass-catching running back, and he has played some big-time late-season roles, specifically for the Eagles. And with the Steelers stretch here over the next couple of weeks, at the Ravens, against the Bills, at the Lions, against the Ravens again, it may put the Steelers in a lot of pass-first situations that will open up opportunities for Kenneth Gainwell, and he may be able to get got right now on the waiver wire. Another player that is peaking at the right time, it's getting healthy at the right time. He may not be as readily available, but Christian Watson, the wide receiver for the Packers, he's coming off of his best performance of the season, 20.6 fantasy points, so it might be difficult to go out there and get him, but he's very clearly the best wide receiver option for the Green Bay Packers. He's their best deep ball threat, and he's a favorite target of Jordan Love, who loves to fling it downfield.
Question about that.
Yeah.
He stays hurt.
He does, but you only need him for 5 weeks.
5 weeks? All right. You might get him for 2 games.
If you get him for 2 games and he drops 21 points again for you,
yeah,
I'm willing to take that. An interesting one is Michael Wilson. Did you see what Michael Wilson did on Sunday for the Arizona Cardinals?
I did not because I was too busy celebrating Brock Purdy.
He had 15 catches on 18 targets.
Wow.
Did you know Michael Wilson was even in the league? I forgot he was in the league. In that same game, Jacoby Brissett set the NFL record for most completions in a game with 47. The Cardinals are the funniest football team. They're doing all this stuff and no one cares because they're not good.
Yep, and they lost by 19.
And they lost.
I'll take it.
How do you do that? How do you complete 47 passes and you lose by 19? But Michael Wilson clearly has shown that he is Brissett's favorite target. If Jacoby stays in and the shadow benching of Kyler remains, that's going to be a fun one. And we'll quickly roll through some buy, sell, or holds. Buy Jameson Williams. Laporta's out. There's targets to give away, and he has scored a touchdown in the last 3 weeks. He's peaking at the right time. Aaron Jones has a very favorable playoff schedule here in the fantasy football playoffs, and they're starting to work him in even more. 16 carries, most since returning from the injury that sidelined him for a couple of weeks. And Wan'Dale Robinson, which sounds crazy, the New York Giants wide receiver, is a great buy candidate because Jameis Winston, he's going to throw the ball a whole heck of a lot, and Jackson Dart likes Wan'Dale Robinson as a target, and he has the 4th easiest strength of schedule moving forward. Sell, unfortunately, Travion Henderson, not because he's bad, but I think he won't have the same types of performances, so you could get a pretty large haul back for him. Ramondre Stevenson expected to return. He was the RB1 before getting hurt, so Travion may have just his carries split down because Stevenson's coming back into the fold. Sell high on Henderson. Sell high on Drake London, who's now going to have to deal with Kirk Cousins and London dealing with some injuries as well. Let's get a break in. We'll step aside. Be back to wrap up this Thursday edition of Fitz the Bill.
This year, make a tax-deductible contribution that can change a life. Every day, the American Red Cross helps thousands of people, providing emergency relief, emotional support, and essential care to families in need. We depend on your end-of-year donations to do this critical work. Donate to the American Red Cross before midnight, December 31st, and help us bring hope to a family with nowhere else to turn. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make a donation that will save someone's life.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we make mattress shopping easy. We offer our lowest and best price to everyone, every day, so you can shop when you're ready. We show you exactly what's inside of our mattresses so you can see and feel the quality for yourself to ensure you're getting the best value. And we offer a no-pressure shopping experience. Our team is here to help you find the best mattress for you. It's that easy. Visit an OMF location today to see the Original Mattress Factory difference for yourself.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
A birth injury turns the best day of your life into the worst. Hospitals deny. Insurance companies delay and off pennies. At Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, we don't let them get away with it. We stand with you. We fight for you, and we win for your family's future. Call 877-222-6666 or visit Shannara.com. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. We go deeper. We fight harder. We win big.
This is advertising material.
Statewide sports, straight talk, and no fluff. Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily dose of hard-hitting Virginia sports debate. Don't miss it.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill here on this Thursday, November 20th. Talk of the town we got a weekend full of Talk of the Town games because Friday night, we're going to be out at Dinwiddie. Our first time heading down to Dinwiddie. I cannot wait. We've heard from Carolina Rodney. We've heard from a ton of people that we've got to get down to Dinwiddie. They've got a cannon. They've got all of this stuff. You got to get down to Dinwiddie.
We've heard from people from out of town.
Yeah, so trust us. We've had this game, and I know this game just got put on the schedule, but this whole season we'll wait for Verina Dinwiddie in the playoffs. We'll wait for Verina Dinwiddie in the playoffs. And folks, we got Verina Dinwiddie in the playoffs. We're headed down there on Friday night. That game got moved from Saturday to Friday, which opened things up in a big way for us over at Fitz the Bill and ESPN Richmond, because we can make that game on Friday. And we've got Alan doing double duty Talk of the Town. He's headed out to Louisa, right on the edge of the 804, as they play host to Huguenot in the other Region 4B semifinal clash. That should be a fun one. You're seeing some big-time athletes out there, Louisa.
Yeah, I might as well be a scout at this point.
Hey, Savion Hyder, you're going to see the number one running back in the nation who also plays like every position for Louisa, I've heard through the grapevine.
I've got a friend who's a big Huguenot fan, but he's also a Michigan fan. And
he's torn.
Yeah, we've had a discussion. I was like, I told him, I'm going to find you in the crowd, and I'm going to make sure you're not cheering for him as well as cheering for you.
That's when you root for Hyder to have 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and Huguenot wins by a touchdown.
Yeah.
And Charles Scott Jr. throws for 5 touchdowns and 400 yards.
But it's awesome to think that we've got one of the top players in the nation, and he's like that close to us.
And another top player in the nation, Darius Gray, who is the number 1 interior offensive lineman in the nation, according to 247, played at St. Chris. He's going down to South Carolina. I wonder how that stands up with James Franklin now at Virginia Tech. That's besides the point.
I know. I'm going to keep it quiet and hope we get the breaking news first.
That's going to be very interesting to see how all that breaks down. I was going to say something else, and I lost my train of thought. Talk of the Town, 2 games. On Friday night. It is a bit of a bummer, though, that it's great that I get to go down to Dinwiddie, right? Yeah. It's going to be fun. It is a bummer we can't make it out to TJ Armstrong, which is a fantastic game in Region 2A. That's been a game, probably one of the more, we've been talking about how Verina Dinwiddie, the most anticipated game of the last couple of years. TJ Armstrong right up there. Good rematch of the regular season showdown that ended in a weird way.
Yeah, and I was going to comp the defenses because both the defenses are good. So my plan was to see Armstrong, TJ, especially the defenses for both of those squads on Friday, and then see Verina Dinwiddie. But, yeah, it did switch. And like I said online, if I could split myself in half, I'd definitely put one part at Armstrong, TJ, and the other part in Dinwiddie.
Yeah, but we can unfortunately that technology has not been created yet.
I got friends in the crowd, man. They better send me updates.
You got eyes. You got eyes in the sky. They're always watching.
You're on the payroll at this point. You better send me some updates.
Yeah, you know the payroll. It's deep. We've got a lot of guys on our $0 payroll.
Also, wanted to go back selfishly to Taste the Fish because I didn't get the best food review we had.
No, they're third. They're third.
Okay, all right.
But it's only tenths of points separate number 1 through number 3. Right now, number 1's Huguenot.
Number 1's Huguenot.
Huguenot. Spiritually, it's Highland Springs, but Highland Springs mathematically is second. That's what I keep saying. That fried pork chop sandwich was delicious. We've heard a lot of talk about Dinwiddie's food. Like, a lot of hype around what Dinwiddie's got to offer. I'm just saying, Carolina Rodney, I'm talking to you. You have really set the bar high for Dinwiddie. I'm expecting pomp and circumstance around this game, and I think we're going to get it. We're going to hear a lot of cowbells on
Cannons,
Friday.
horses, good food, good football.
Should be a good one. So Talk of the Town, you can find all of our coverage on Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram. You can also follow along on ESPN Richmond on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the social medias, so you never miss any of our high school football coverage. And we got the coaches show today, Richmond Spiders football coaches show over there at Bar West. That's at noon. If you can't make it out to Bar West for lunch, you can listen to it right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. And then it'll take you into the Rich Eisen show, and it'll take you back into Border to Border with Matt Josephs. We're back live here live in Ortho, Virginia studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. And tonight, Raising Hail from 6 until 7. You don't want to miss it. All right here where Richmond talks sports.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com.